of these things, if you just had 100% certainty that you could accomplish one of them 1 year from now, which of them would get you the furthest? Now, when you look at all these, you might be like, well, honestly, even if I were to crack the new ads, I still need a salesman, and the new product is, important, but if I don't have a salesman to sell it, then I can't do anything. It's like, okay, so then everything you have comes down to getting this done. And so this is now your priority. You can ignore everything else because until this happens, nothing else matters. Now, I gave 2 examples that were contingencies. What if there are things that you could do in parallel? Like, well, what if I start to develop an app so that by the time I have my salesman, then I'll have something to sell? Well, the problem with this is just in my experience, is that like the parties, there's limited resources. I find that people actually do things faster chronologically or linearly than in parallel, especially when you're focusing all the resources of a company on one specific point. Because if you know that you can only do one thing with all of your resources, guess what? You get it done faster because you have so many other things you have to do. Because every single person feels like they're holding the entire company back, which they are. But what happens when you pursue multiple things is that no one feels like they're holding the entire company back, and then nothing gets done. And so this is why you feel so busy. You're trying to host all these parties at the same time. So let me explain why it's actually keeping you broke. What you have to realize is the real cost of change. So let's say that this line represents your normal revenue in the business, okay? If you do a change in the business, then you're almost always going to incur the cost of change, right? The business is going to go down. My estimate is that whenever we do something new, we lose 20% right off the bat before we get to realize any potential, not guaranteed, upside from that change. And so what's interesting though is that many entrepreneurs hear this and think, okay, well, I'm willing to risk this 20% decrease because maybe I'll get a 10% increase on whatever, on the other side of this. It's like, yeah, but for you to do you want to have a guaranteed 20 for a potential of 10? It's not a trade I would make. And so what ends up happening is that you end up realizing that the vast majority of tests you just shouldn't do. It's like, it might work and who cares? It's not going to change the business. It's not the constraint, right? Like maybe we have some little CRO hack we could do. Sure. Is it the thing that's stopping you from getting the 3 to 10 million? Probably not. And so what happens is these are just productive distractions. If you're trying to optimize your way to a 10x, you've got it wrong. You're focused on the wrong thing. After the 20%, then it means that number one, if you're gonna take a shot, it's gotta get you at least 20% plus as your upside because you might not even get it. And so for me, this is my rule of thumb. I need at least a 20 on the top side so that I'm willing to take a guaranteed 20 on the downside. Now,